Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis, and my guest today is Frank Pullia, City Councillor with the City of Thunder Bay. Welcome, Frank.
My pleasure. Nice being here.
Great to have you here. Frank, let's start a little bit talking about your own background. Tell us a little bit about your own story and how you came to Thunder Bay and some of your early experiences.
Well, I'm a first-generation immigrant. I came to Thunder Bay from southern Italy when I was 16. Actually, the first of my immediate family. Obviously, I had relatives here. My great-grandfather...
You were 16 years old.
I was 16 years old.
You came to Thunder Bay as by yourself and you're 16 years old.
Yes, and people ask, why Thunder Bay?
Oh my gosh.
Because my great-grandfathers were here at the turn of the century, working on the railway, building the grain elevators in the bush camps. And then they brought their sons, my grandfathers. So at the turn of the century, at one time, all four of them were here in this area, Thunder Bay and, surrounding areas.
No kidding.
So I grew up when my grandfather used to tell me all about the magnificent Lake Superior, Fort William, Port Arthur, the bush camps, how cold it was in the winter.
Yeah.
So I had to come and see for myself. I wanted to see how the rest of the family lived in North America.
So
you I came and stayed.
And you stayed?
Yeah, I loved it from day one. It's hard to imagine coming from southern Italy, nice and warm on the beach, and it's cold here, relatively speaking, but I don't know, maybe the DNA has memory, because I remember when I got off the plane, I felt comfortable. It wasn't humid, it was nice and cool, and I worked in construction. I worked at Great West Timber to pay my way through school, and I remember actually enjoying the cold weather when I was working physically, right? Mm-hmm. Summer at the grain elevator, when I was shoveling grain for a couple of years at Cargill Grain, it was hot. It was tough.
And dusty back in the day
dusty,
too.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I did a few jobs before going back to school to get my accounting, to get business administration degree, and then an accounting designation. Then I went to work for Kimberly-Clark in Long Lake and Terrace Bay as a cost analyst and financial analyst. Then I came back in Thunder Bay to work for Ontario Hydro. I was the budget coordinator and financial reporting coordinator for the whole region in northwestern Ontario.
So what year would that have been?
87.
87.
87 to 1994, when then Hydro, I was working in the head office, when Hydro split the company. In
this
divisions.
Is Ontario Hydro?
Ontario Hydro.
Okay.
So, and then I had the choice to make, either stay in Toronto or come back to Thunder Bay and get my severance package because my job was gone.
So your job took you to Toronto?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I, believe it or not, I gave up a good job in Toronto and the ability to purchase a nice condo downtown when it was a good price. Come to Thunder Bay, started my own business, and entered politics in 1994.
So you're a risk taker here. I mean, you start off when you're 16, you got a good job with Hydro, which we know pays a good buck, to their staff.
Yeah.
Secure, that's right. We're going to have Hydro forever. You leave that.
I guess your home is where your heart is. My heart was always in this city.
Oh my gosh, that is so interesting. So you're obviously a good candidate for kind of being someone who wants to really promote Thunder Bay and make it work.
Well, that's part of the reason why I ran a few times. I had the privilege of serving the citizens of Thunder Bay for 3 terms now as a city councillor. I truly enjoy it. I'm currently the chair of Administrative Services Committee and chair of finance. So my background provides me with the interest and desire and skills to do that job and trying to, work towards the betterment of the community and ensuring that taxes are reasonable and we provide the best level of service possible.
So if I recall, now you've had time on council and then you were off, you ran for mayor, were unsuccessful, you had time off, and you come back to council. So,
Yes.
So it's like 20 years, if I got it right.
Yes,
that
20
you've
years.
been
In and out.
in and out.
And you know what? The experience of being in and out is actually great. When you lose, you learn more. because then you're able to see, to know what was going on in the inside, and then you look at things from the outside, and you're talking to people, you're listening, and you say to yourself, if I get back in, I think we can improve in certain areas. So you bring that perspective, because sometimes we forget. Everybody works hard, City Hall, but you need to have that open mind to be a good listener and know that we are there for one reason only, to represent the interest of our constituency, of the taxpayers, of the community as a whole.
So what drives you? I mean, over 20 years to go through that up and down and the challenges, why do you keep coming back, and what is it? What's inside of Frank that drives you?
Well, because I wasn't born here, but I chose to live here for over 40 years. I guess to me, is if I'm going to be here, I'm going to do the best I can to help Thunder Bay be all that it can be. You know, when we were discussing about high-speed access in 1994 to 1997, when we were discussing about diversifying the economy so that we were not over-reliant on forestry, and as you know, when forestry basically collapsed and we lost over 7,000 jobs, Thunder Bay was resilient. Thunder Bay was already diversified sufficiently in education, in healthcare, and small businesses, and so many other ways that we're able to withstand that loss of 7,000 jobs, survive and prosper. Because Thunder Bay is slowly moving forward. We're not those, huge growth type of cities. We have the opposite problem. We need more growth. And I'd like to talk also about a growth strategy. We need a growth strategy for Thunder Bay, because we used to be 117,000. We're 109 now. We lost thousands of young people and many people, but we stabilized the population in the last 10 years. Now it's time to start growing again.
So I have so many questions really to ask you, Frank. So just in terms of kind of on the personal side, what's your family situation now?
Well, I'm not married. I'm a single guy.
An eligible bachelor here, girls, come on.
I've
had this conversation from my wife. Where are they? I got one here.
I did participate in the Bachelor of Hope to raise funds for cancer. It was a great experience. It was good. I'm glad I did it. So yes, I'm a bachelor.
Excellent. So we're going to take a short break. If you can just stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks so much.